Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Lemmings, the No Pause Challenge. So today we're moving on to the taxing rank, where the levels will be harder, longer and more complicated, so I don't promise to get through all 30 in one video. We'll have to see how we get on. So the first level, if first you don't succeed, rather notorious in the Lemmings community as one of the clearest examples of what is called a back route, which is where a solution is so much simpler than the intended solution that it's more like bypassing the puzzle rather than engaging with it. As you can see here, the main puzzle of the level is getting through the 3 pillars with only 2 bashes, and I bypassed that by going underneath them through the floor. Now we are short on time, so after assigning 4 builders, this has actually worked out rather nicely with the release rates and the precise placement of the blocker happening so that the lemmings were grouped in little clusters in the crowd. So it was fairly easy to pick out one going the correct direction to release the blocker. But as you can see, less than 30 seconds left, so not much spare time to play with there. I think I should go back and show the intended solution as well, or as close to it as I can get. I mean, we don't know exactly what was intended, but here's a pretty good guess. So I have 2 athletes, which is what the game calls it when the same lemming is a climber and a floater. I have to keep an eye on both of them. I think this one will need a skill first. Ooh, it's going to be tight. No, this one. Yeah, couldn't do that without pausing. Or could I have done? What could I do? Well, since I have leftover builders, yeah, I could just have used a builder for delay. So let's give that another try. Now we have to mine with this lemming. Oh, I think he's going to need another builder first. So one thing is that on the original game, things like this are a lot easier because you have a little tap 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 sound when a builder is... just missed him. When a builder's on his last 3 bricks. I'll have one more try. I do want to get this done. And you've probably heard that because it is in NeoLemmix as well. It's just that when I'm recording, I can't hear that myself because I have my sound muted so it doesn't cause any echoes. So here we decided I actually need to do the miner first and then the builder. I don't know, it's pretty close between the 2. Yeah, no, it was builder first. Or... Oh, and I should not have denied my viewers the pleasure of seeing all the lemmings go up in fireworks. one of the joys of this game, as anyone who's played the original game will attest. So here I've made the two lemmings closer together, so this time it should be the miner that needs doing first. I think you'll need another builder before. Yeah, a little trick there is to let the builder walk on a couple of steps before building again. There are situations where you want to do that for other reasons, but here my reason is simply that it makes it easier for me to judge when to reassign. Okay, so this one's fairly easy because the builder will have to walk for a bit before he needs his next assignment, so I have enough time. Yep. 1 minute 40 should be plenty for this. And the climber will get caught in this little alcove, so... Oh, the climber didn't quite make it home, but that's okay. We still got 99, and that's all we needed. So... Took us long enough to get off the first level. What's the rest of the rank going to be like? Well, this is watch out, there's traps about. There are indeed traps, but we can get past them. I'm going to increase the release rate quite early so that everyone will get into these digger pits before the digger gets down below splat height. Fortunately, we have... We have enough skills that I can make the digger do a little step there in the middle of the tunnel. Now I think a climber will get over this rock, but an ordinary lemming will not. Build over one of the traps. The other traps over here in the top right corner, we didn't go anywhere near them on this solution. But there we are. Okay, Heaven Can Wait, we hope. This one was quite tricky because it's one of the more execution-based levels in the original game. But it is basically just... do fun 16 without builders, and I already did it without builders when I was playing through without blockers. But also on a tight time limit, so next time I assign builder I'll release the crowd. And there we go. Lend a helping hand. This is an interesting one. So the first problem is to make the lemmings from the two sides meet up. Then we have to navigate up past these spike traps. So here I'll use a technique I mentioned last video, mine through the leader's bridge so that he's on his own. So here if I would fill directly to the right from there, he'd go into the trap. So do a shorter bridge from partway up the bridge. Yep, that should be okay. This was obviously a pretty hair-raising level on the original game where it wasn't so easy to judge. Also, on the original game, the spikes came in sets of 4 rather than 2, but only 2 of them were actually functional. So in NeoLemmix, to make the trap less misleading, it's been reduced to 2. Also, you can build out the outside to get up, but I prefer going through the traps because that's what the developers intended. So, the prison. Got 2 exits, low and high. You can go to either one. I'm going to go low. I think I used to go high when I played this when I was a kid. Maybe I should have gone high actually, because it's not going to be easy to have to rapidly change which skill is assigned. Now, one thing I can do is I use the Z and X. Oh dear, Z and X hotkeys to change to the previous and next skill, and as far as I'm concerned, that's entirely legitimate because that did exist on some versions of the original game, including the Macintosh version, the version I grew up with. Even so, I missed him. But we can rectify our error by sending in another worker lemming. This level doesn't require 100%. I can just walk down the little steps. And we're good to go. Okay, we've got a fun one now. Compression method 1. So you see the little bobbing up plates at the bottom there. Those are actually, well, they show where masher traps are in the ceiling. So those will come down and give your lemmings a bad time. You can't go down the side as we did in the fun version of this level because there's no floaters, and that is just above splat height. So we've got to go through the traps. This one took me quite a while to work out, but the clue is right there in the title. When the lemmings are this tightly compressed and they go through a masher trap, don't ask me how this works, but it will only kill one of them at a time. I'm not going to speed this one up. I'll let you watch this in all its... Wow. It's not the most unpleasant death in the Lemmings games. There are much worse ones later on. There are some that I do not like watching at all and I will not put on camera. But those don't start until Oh No More Lemmings, thankfully. Okay, every lemming for himself. This is a repeat of Tricky 4. And the complication here is that we don't have any diggers, so we can't make a dig pit to hold the crowd. We can only do it with a blocker. And the way to do it is to put the blocker just there where I did, so that they're all to the left and the climber can go through the one-way wall and the blocker will turn him as well as holding in the crowd. So nice multi-purpose there. Getting over these islands was always a little bit dicey, but it just feels a lot more comfortable on NeoLemmix, even doing it without pause. And as you can see, another rather tight time limit. Those are something of a hallmark of the taxing levels. But we made it. The art gallery. so this one is tricky 5. So the previous one was tricky 4, this one's tricky 5. Little pattern there in the ordering. But it's done in basically the same way, except that I used a basher into the terrain, and then used a builder to stop the basher to keep the lemmings contained, rather than using a blocker, because, as you can see, we don't have any. Then it's just a builder to the exit and we're done. Some very nice looking terrain over here on the left on this level, by the way. Taxing 9, Perseverance. So this one can be done just the same as I did the fun version. It has other more interesting solutions. I tell you what, I'll show you a little trick that can be useful on this level. So I made a blocker in the dig pit, and the digger immediately released him, but he did also turn round. So that's one way. So in fact, if you do that, then you don't need this mining tunnel into the steel at all. Just thought I'd show that off quickly. Okay, Izzy Wizzy Lemmings Get Busy. So, repeat of tricky 6, again with no blockers. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let the lemmings go into this second dip and build over it so that that builder becomes my worker lemming. Now here I dig here because I've got no floaters, so yeah, he wouldn't survive a fall from the top, but he can survive a fall from the bottom of the wall. The same trick as on the we all fall down levels. That's good enough to get him to the exit, and then it's easy enough to get his fellows home. Okay, the Ascending Pillar Samarra. This is the infamous one that I mentioned when I was doing its tricky repeat. So one thing I'll do is I made that digger a climber, and then I made him build to turn round. But the fact that I made him a climber while he was still digging ensures that I got that particular lemming, and that avoids the problem I had when I actually did this one's. Oh dear. I think we can salvage this. Yeah, when I did the tricky repeats, I ended up building all the way out to that pillar, which you did not want to do. Okay, so I'm waiting for the last lemming out, and he's going to release his friends. And while they're walking, the worker will make one last bridge to the exit. So 5, 4. I kind of don't want to use any frame skips here in case it all goes wrong. Oh, let's just do it with him. Okay, they're coming out. I hope I haven't gone too deep. Oh, that's either just survivable by 1 pixel, if at all. We'll find out very soon. Yep, they made it. So yes, that level had me stuck for about a year when I was younger. You can probably see why. Living on the edge. So this is another make a dig bit to keep everyone I didn't quite place that builder correctly because the gimmick of this level is that the pits are just wide enough for one builder. You've got to place the builder exactly on the edge. Fortunately, you have slightly more builders than there are pits. Still not all that hard. There we go. So level 13, this is a fun one. Upside down world. So I'm going to go over here, mine down towards the trap and go under it. Now there is a god pixel. If you bash in exactly the right place, he'll stop his bashing here and not continue over here, and that's exactly what happened. So it's pretty lucky that I got that. They can clamber over these roots and such, so what I'm going to do is build to turn round. Oh, well, that's no good. I'll have to use another builder now. And because I used that other builder, I can't free the blocker with a miner and build to stop the miner, so I'm not going to be saving everyone this attempt. That's okay. We got through the level and that's what matters. Okay, Hunt the Nessie. This one is really unpopular because it is just a huge mess of building. You probably get the idea by now, but that's what we're going to be doing for this entire level. Fortunately, it is made a lot less tedious in NeoLemmix because I can just assign a builder. I've got my spacebar configured to be a 10-second frame skip, and since a builder takes 12 seconds, that skips ahead to just before he shrugs, so it gives me time to assign something else. So go under the head, obviously, to avoid head collisions of a different sort between the builder's head and the terrain. I think we also have to build over this little well, which is not a problem. Oh, there we go. And of course, they follow that with another extremely builder-intensive level. So everyone's gathering here. I'm going to let them gather and work with the last lemming. Okay, that was silly. Just hit my spacebar too many times in a row there. See, I'm getting impatient because of all the building. Now I've gone too low with this. Oh dear. Okay.
Let's go.
Well, that doesn't help. I'm going down a little bit here so that I can make sure of clearing that fin or whatever it is when I build at the other side. That ball is nowhere near enough to worry me. But you know, this is bad. He wouldn't get up that step without help, so it's better to use a basher. Now I think he will go all the way to the top here. And then yet more building up to the exit. And this is a bit fiddly because those stars can get in the way sometimes. Yep, just like that. Stars are actually terrain. By the way, I almost forgot to mention this. Ooh, release the crowd quickly. I just noticed the time is running short. Oh no. Right, can I salvage this? Not easily, but I can try. So there's 4 lemmings in that group. It displays in the lower left of the screen how many are in a group. That's probably long enough. So one of these will be a builder and the other 3 will die. That's okay. As soon as I lost him, I wasn't going to be saving 100% anymore anyway. So yes, I think the music on this is one of the best tracks in the game. Always loved this one. But as this is a special graphics level, this is the only time you'll hear it. Okay, Mary Poppins Land. Now, this is quite an interesting one because on the original DOS and Amiga Lemmings, it is possible to save 100%. I'm not at all sure if it's possible in NeoLemmix. The reason is, right, you have no destructive skills at all, so you have to hold the crowd while this building is going on. So to save 100%, the only way to do that is by making a wall with builders, but enough of the builders have to turn around while building the wall. So it's kind of complicated even to explain, let alone to do. It wasn't... I want to say it wasn't discovered for... for a long time, but I mean in relative terms. The game came out in 1991, and you know, the internet as we know it now didn't really exist back then, so we didn't have people easy communication between people sharing their best results for various levels. Now, I would be able to salvage this, but I think we're going to be short on time. Maybe not. So yeah, it was in the early days of the Lemmings forums that the 100% solution to this... Oh, I've released them too early. Yeah. Stretch the bridge there. Come on, you can do it now. No, I've lost far too many. Oh well. Yeah. But yes, that solution, as far as I know, hasn't yet been confirmed whether it works in NeoLemmix at all or not, so I'm not even going to bother trying it. It certainly would not be the kind of thing I would like to do under no pause conditions. So yes, here I have to keep an eye on both builders at once, and I don't even get the little click 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 to help me because I've explained this already, I have my sound muted because I'm recording. Okay, this is going to be more successful. Wait until I've assigned the last builder, now release everyone, and now they can all make it. Except for the blocker who have to die. Whew. Okay, X marks the spot. So as you can see on the mini-map, if you can see that very clearly on your screen, there are 3 places in the map where it says exit X. Only one of them actually marks the spot. It is an actual exit, the one on the far right. And I wonder how many people ever discovered that, because it's a bit more obvious to go for the plainly visible exits over on the left. But oh dear. Just to keep things interesting, we're going to go for the hidden exit. So, as you can see, I've isolated a lemming and saved the crowd by mining down towards the steel. Do need to gain a bit of height, so let's try and get up here. I never really explained steel. It should be clear enough by now. It's just terrain that can't be bashed, mined, or dug. Oh, really? In the original game, there are actually a few steel destruction glitches, but they don't work in NeoLemmix. One of the main... oh dear, now I'm actually short on bashes, and this is a serious problem. I don't think I can make it anymore. Huh. I have a lot of builders, so maybe I can get high enough that I can save this with miners. Don't know if that's possible. We'll try. I have to get there. No, I would need more bashers. Okay, I've had quite a few restarts on these levels. I'm thinking now I'm going to go for taxing 20 as the point where I stop this video. So there's 30 levels in a rank, so there's 30 in taxing, 30 in mayhem. So doing 20 per video means I'll get through the rest of the levels in 2 more videos after this one. Okay, gave a bit more leeway then by clicking before he hit the wall, because I don't want to be in the same situation as last time. I don't really remember this. I've got to bash above that pit, which I haven't quite done. But yeah, I've got 2 bashes, so I'm okay. As I couldn't afford to have lost even 1 back where I did. Okay, so this basher should cut close to the exit. Okay, there it is. So when I did the skill shadow, it stopped here. And that showed that the miner was going to stop there, and knowing this level, that could only be for one reason. Okay, this is a great one. Tribute to MC Escher. I am going to try doing 100% solution here, even though it is a very tricky one. So, the idea is, as you can see, we've only got 1 basher, floater bombers, which we can't use for 100% solution, and builders. So pretty much the work is going to be done with those builders. So what I've done is I've made a right to left bridge under the trapdoor, and the point of that is that lemmings walking up the bridge will all be facing left, so the only way a lemming could be facing right here would be one that's just come out of the trapdoor. So after a certain point, there just aren't any more lemmings walking right at that point. We do also have to build over the exit. I wasn't quite prepared for this. The exit is... I'm familiar with a kind of remake of this level in Lemmings, which is another engine for custom levels. And that one gives a lot more space to the other side of the exit. So here I've had to work with pretty limited space. But the idea is now we have to make a wall with our bridges that will, at that precise point there, where my cursor is now, will be thick enough. If I can do this right with only 3 more builders, and not very much time either. Yes, that's done it! The wall there is thick enough, so when they're here, in front of them is a step that's more than 6 pixels high, they can't get up that, and they turn around into the exit. So that's the 100% solution on this level. The normal solution is just to make a zigzag bridge that everyone can get up and use bombers to make the fall down the other side survivable. But there we go, pleased with that one. So Bomboozle is another one of the notorious timed bomber levels. It's the only one in taxing. But as NeoLemmix doesn't support timed bombers, for me this is exactly the same as its fun counterpart. So we're on to the last level for this video, Walk the Web Rope. This terrain is a bit awkward. If I do that kind of thing, yeah, well, didn't manage to save 100% anyway. I'm going to turn up the... Yeah, select builder. Okay, so I had Basher selected for a bit there, and that was a mistake. There's no easy way on this level to make, well, I can put a blocker there, it doesn't matter since I'm not saving 100% anymore anyway. And then just use Bashers to get everyone home. This is a very easy level, I don't know why it's so late in taxing. And a very annoying one on some versions of the original game that not only don't have the 10-second skip, but don't have any form of fast forwarding. You just have to wait and watch while the lemmings walk across here at normal speed. Anyway. Okay, so that's the first 20 levels of taxing. Tomorrow I'll have a go at the remaining 10 levels and the first 10 of Mayhem, so I'm looking forward to that. So, see you then, and thank you for watching.